black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice.
Did you ever consider going to either the memorial service or the funeral?
No, I did not consider going to the memorial service or the funeral because I did not consider myself to be a friend of his.
They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including
I was not a friend. I was someone who had interviewed him and at the time really had a lot of compassion for him. And
those feelings about him changed over the years?
Oprah Winfrey's 1993 interview with Michael Jackson was supposed to be groundbreaking, an inside look into the life of the King of Pop. Instead, it turned into a public grilling.
The color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think it has caused a great deal of speculation.
Fast forward decades later, and Oprah hasn't let up. Just last year, she hosted yet another special dragging Jackson's name through the mud.
this moment transcends Michael Jackson. It is much bigger than any one person.
And remember, Michael openly spoke about the gatekeepers in the industry, an industry Oprah is often accused of being deeply tied to.
They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists.
So why does Oprah hate Michael so much? Is it because he represented something she couldn't control? Or is it because Michael called out Hollywood's corruption, something Oprah might not want the world to focus on? Let's dig into it. Word is, Oprah, with all her power and clout, saw Michael as a serious threat to everything she'd built. And guess what? She wasn't the only one feeling that way. Her so-called inner circle was right there with her, acting like the ultimate gatekeepers. They had so much pull, they could shut down even the biggest names if they felt like it.
That's why they worked even harder to find a way to silence me. What happens when you're the greatest at the beginning? Nobody wants you to open up for them because you're going to make them look inferior.
From the start, Michael Jackson's 1993 interview with Oprah was the moment for millions of fans. It felt like a chance for the King of Pop to set the record straight and squash all the crazy rumors about his life. But for those who know how Hollywood really works, the whole thing hit differently. Like it wasn't about giving Michael a platform, but more about keeping him in check. Some say it was part of a bigger scheme, with Oprah playing her part perfectly. Was she being pushed by big industry players to shut Michael down before he could expose their darkest secrets? A lot of folks seem to think so.
You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
Oh God, no.
You did not purposely.
We're trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin.
So what really went down? Oprah scored a massive interview with Michael Jackson at his legendary Neverland Ranch, a sit-down that became the most watched TV interview ever. The goal? Clear the air and shut down the insane rumors that had been following Michael since the 80s. And let's be honest, the rumors were next-level crazy. People thought he was trying to look white, wanted to change his gender, owned the Elephant Man's bones, slept in an oxygen chamber, secretly married Elizabeth Taylor, had a psychic monkey as his BFF, lived a double life, and was somehow celibate. Yeah, all that. The interview was supposed to let Michael set the record straight and give fans a peek into his real life. But things got weird pretty quickly. Oprah didn't hold back, jumping straight into the personal stuff. When she brought up his appearance, Michael admitted to a nose job but shut down the rumors about having more surgeries. Then, in a rare and emotional moment, he revealed that he had vitiligo, the skin condition behind his changing skin tone.
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
If you really pay attention to the interview, you can feel the tension in the air. Oprah didn't seem fully sold on Michael's explanation about his skin condition, and it definitely showed. She kept pushing for more details, almost like she wasn't ready to just take his word for it. And then there's the way she kept interrupting him, cutting him off just when he was starting to open up. It felt like she didn't want him to fully explain why his skin color had changed, leaving fans to wonder if she had her own agenda during the whole thing.
There, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons.
She cut him off again when Michael tried to talk about how much the whole situation had hurt him. You could see he was trying to open up about the pain the rumors and public scrutiny had caused, but Oprah seemed more interested in keeping the conversation on her terms. It didn't feel like a genuine exchange. It felt more like a power move. A lot of fans were left wondering if she really cared about giving Michael a chance to share his side, or if she was steering the interview to serve a different purpose altogether.
That's the situation here. So please, when people see
So,
something
okay,
like
I just
that,
want to get this straight.
Yeah.
You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
oh God, no.
Oprah didn't hold back when she brought up Michael's relationship with his father, Joe Jackson, a man widely accused of being harsh and overly strict during Michael's childhood. Michael admitted that his father's discipline and words had been painful but still expressed love for him, clearly wanting to avoid upsetting him. Oprah, however, didn't let up. She pushed harder, questioning Michael's loyalty to his dad and even suggesting he seek therapy to address his past trauma. The tone was heavy and a lot of people felt like she might have crossed a line. But the part that really got people buzzing was when Oprah shifted the focus to Michael's romantic life. She straight up asked if he was a question that made plenty of viewers cringe. Michael, ever the gentleman, dodged it gracefully, saying it was private and revealing instead that he was dating actress Brooke Shields at the time. He also mentioned his old-fashioned values, but Oprah's insistence left fans wondering, was she genuinely curious, or was she deliberately trying to poke holes in his carefully protected personal life? Then, out of nowhere, Oprah changed gears, almost accusing Michael of hiding something. The vibe turned tense as she seemed determined to put him on the spot. Things hit a nerve when she started grilling him about his friendships with children, asking why he liked spending so much time with them. Michael, visibly uncomfortable, explained that he found comfort in their innocence, a purity he felt he'd missed out on due to his stolen childhood as a global superstar. He shared that inviting kids to Neverland was his way of spreading joy and creating the kind of happiness he never got to experience himself. But Oprah wasn't having it, or at least that's how it came across. She doubled down, outright asking if Michael ever shared his bed with the kids, with a tone that hinted at something inappropriate. The question hit a nerve, not just with Michael but with his fans, who felt Oprah's approach was way too harsh, invasive, and flat-out disrespectful. To them, it seemed like she was intentionally trying to cast Michael in a bad light, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Just months after the interview aired, the first allegations of SA against Michael emerged, turning his world upside down and leaving a permanent mark on his legacy. Then came the bombshell documentary Leaving Neverland, where James Safechuck and Wade Robson detailed their alleged experiences with Michael. Oprah didn't stay on the sidelines. She jumped right back into the conversation, publicly backing the accusers and even hosting a follow-up interview to amplify their claims. Fans couldn't shake the feeling that Oprah had played a pivotal role in shaping the narrative against Michael and keeping the controversy alive.
One of the interesting things about Michael and his particular situation is that the started long before we ever met him.
That particular sequence of events led many to believe that Oprah deliberately betrayed Michael Jackson. Followers expressed their sentiments through comments such as, "Oprah was extremely jealous of Michael Jackson. MJ was extremely beautiful, charismatic, charming, gentle, kind, extremely talented, quite intelligent, and had a strong, large connected family." Another one added, "I have never thought I would say this about Oprah, but it seems to me that she was and is about the money she can make off of someone." Oprah Winfrey faced significant backlash for airing a documentary that many viewed as a hit piece on Michael Jackson, particularly since he was never found guilty of the allegations against him. Critics pointed out the apparent contrast in her treatment of Jackson compared to her friend Harvey Weinstein, who was convicted and sentenced to prison. This disparity has sparked outrage among Jackson's fans and even his family. Jermaine Jackson, Michael's older brother, openly condemned Oprah and the media after the release of Leaving Neverland, stating, "So many in media, including Oprah, blindly taking #Leaving Neverland at face value, shaping a narrative uninterested in facts, proof, or credibility. We face similar graphic claims plus trial by media in 05. Jury saw through it all. Trial by law proved Michael's innocence long ago. Fact, Taj Jackson, Michael's nephew, also expressed his dismay, particularly since he had personal ties to one of the accusers, Wade Robson. Taj criticized Oprah's actions, saying, "I was there when she was requesting an interview with my grandma and Michael's kids, talking about how Michael was misunderstood. She does what she needs to do to get ratings. To me, it's the ultimate betrayal." The rumor mill then went into overdrive, churning out countless explanations and theories about MJ's passing. One prominent theory suggested that MJ was deliberately eliminated and that the doctor was part of the plot all along. They also claim that several medications were found at the singer's residence after his death, many of them listed under fraudulent names. According to a 2004 police report, the late singer was taking up to 40 anti-anxiety medications. As a result, fans believe that Dr. Murray was merely a victim of circumstances and should be let off with just a slap on the wrist. However, Paris Jackson, MJ's daughter, doesn't share those sentiments. Like her aunt LaToya, she believes her father was assassinated by people who were after his money and legacy. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Paris claimed that all the evidence points to this theory and that only true fans would understand it. He would drop hints about people being out to get him, she said, and at some point he was like, "They're gonna off me one day." Asked by interviewer Brian Hyatt if she thought her father was murdered, the 18-year-old replied, "Absolutely. Because it's obvious. All arrows point to that. It sounds like a total conspiracy theory. But all real fans and everybody in the family knows it. It was a setup." Paris Jackson believes that all true fans and family members know it was a setup and a lot of BS. However, unlike some fans and her aunt LaToya, she doesn't blame Dr. Conrad Murray entirely. Paris thinks the whole situation was like a chess game involving many people who had or wanted a stake in MJ's estate. She implied that the plot was far more complex and hinted that she knows more than she's letting on. By calling it a chess game, Paris suggested that revealing too much could complicate matters, as no one would want to take the fall for ending a musical icon whose fame and global reach could spell doom for anyone who tried to harm him. Thus, she believes the real culprits prefer to stay in the shadows and manipulate things from behind the scenes. So Paris decided to keep what she knew to herself, hoping she could achieve justice for her father once she became rich and powerful. If she couldn't, the 25-year-old model hoped that someday her dad would get the justice he deserved. Speaking to Rolling Stone magazine, she said, "I definitely do want justice, but it's a chess game, and I am trying to play the chess game the right way. And that's all I can say about that right now." Even Janet Jackson, who shared an especially close bond with her brother, reportedly believes Oprah sought to damage Michael's career and tarnish his legacy. The family's collective disappointment underscores their view that Oprah betrayed Michael and contributed to the unjust vilification of his name.
Who were you closest to when you were growing up?
Mike. Yeah, we were incredibly close.
If there's one person who's likely seething over Oprah's role in tarnishing Michael Jackson's name, it's gotta be his sister, Janet Jackson. She's seen firsthand the toll the allegations took on her brother, and no doubt watching Oprah continuously amplify the accusations must have felt like a betrayal to the family.
My brother would never do something like that, but I'm still guilty by association.
Now that Oprah's actions are finally being called into question, especially for her role in damaging the careers of Black entertainers, the Jackson family, particularly Janet, still hasn't let go of the grudge against her. Multiple media outlets have reported that sources close to the family believe Oprah initiated a sort of hate campaign against Michael, and they've never forgiven her for it. The Jacksons feel an apology from Oprah is long overdue, with many close to them believing that Oprah's actions were less about journalism and more about tearing down one of the most iconic figures in music history. The resentment lingers, and it seems like the family won't rest until Oprah acknowledges the damage she caused.
Do you think Oprah betrayed Michael?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And I feel like she betrayed not just him, but my family.
But MJ has always been very vocal to whoever came in his way. Remember that infamous Beyonce and MJ feud? First up, we've got a story involving MC Hammer, Michael Jackson, and Beyonce. Apparently, MC Hammer says MJ once called him the best dancer in the game.
"Look, you know you're the greatest dancer ever." No, Hammer. You're the greatest I've ever seen. I said, "Oh, no. Wow. You the greatest dancer. It ain't even close, man. You the greatest dancer." He said, "Hammer, the stuff you're doing, it's very complicated."
But here's the twist. When Hammer hinted that maybe someone else was an even better dancer, he was clearly talking about Beyonce. MJ apparently shot back, saying, "She takes lessons, she ain't that good."
I threw out another name of somebody we both love. I said, "Michael, no, she on our level too." He said, no, she isn't. She takes lessons.
Michael Jackson's dance moves were legendary and all his own. Unlike most artists who hire choreographers, MJ was the mastermind behind his own routines. So when he made that comment about Beyonce taking lessons, it was kind of a subtle jab, implying that while she was an amazing performer, her moves weren't exactly original. And given Oprah's history, she is not in people's good books. It seemed like Cat had been biding his time for the perfect moment to critique people's talents, skills, and content quality. The podcast episode, spanning almost 3 hours, was a relentless exploration of shade directed at Oprah, Steve, Kevin, and Ricky, among others. Even figures like Martin Lawrence found themselves in the crossfire. It was a masterclass in both stirring the pot and fearlessly speaking truth to power.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
Oprah has been facing some serious heat lately, with accusations of trafficking and enabling by powerful figures like Jeffrey Epstein, the infamous convicted ex-offender, and Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein. It all started when a 2003 interview with Dolly Parton resurfaced in 2021, where Oprah pressed Dolly on her plastic surgery, which quickly went viral for all the wrong reasons. That moment sparked a firestorm, with actress Rose McGowan, one of the original voices of the #MeToo movement, calling Oprah out in a now-deleted tweet. McGowan raised major concerns about Oprah's connections, especially her ties to disgraced producer Harvey Weinstein and her sudden withdrawal from producing a documentary that highlighted Russell Simmons' SA accusers. In the tweet, McGowan expressed her doubts about Oprah's authenticity, accusing her of being complicit in a toxic power structure for personal gain. Oprah, once hailed as a beacon of empowerment, now finds herself caught up in a web of controversy that's making fans and critics alike question her true role in Hollywood's darkest circles. Oprah's ties to Harvey Weinstein have been a lingering source of controversy, especially in light of the #MeToo movement. In 2018, singer Seal accused Oprah of knowing about Weinstein's misconduct but doing nothing to stop it. In a now-deleted post, Seal wrote, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially young starry-eyed actresses who in turn had no idea what they were getting into. My bad." When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution. While Oprah positioned herself as a fierce advocate for #MeToo, speaking out against abuses of power in Hollywood, her close connection to Weinstein raised eyebrows. Despite her vocal support for survivors, critics have questioned how she could have been unaware of his behavior, given her deep ties to the entertainment industry. Oprah's role as a champion for justice now seems a little more complicated, with her critics wondering if she was part of the very system she claimed to be fighting against.
And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment.
According to multiple reports, it has come to light that many high-profile figures in Hollywood were aware of Harvey Weinstein's actions and the way he mistreated women. Despite this knowledge, his behavior was not only tolerated, but in some cases enabled by key players within the industry. Oprah is allegedly one of the major personalities who was part of this circle. It's been suggested that she, along with others, knew about Weinstein's misconduct but failed to take significant action to stop it. Many are questioning whether Oprah, despite her public stance, was complicit in an industry-wide culture of silence surrounding a use.
Something that's major happens when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment.
The mystery surrounding Oprah Winfrey deepened when she was linked to John of God, a Brazilian self-proclaimed medium and convicted felon. For years, John ran a so-called spiritual healing center in Brazil, where he preyed on vulnerable women. He was eventually arrested and sentenced to 63 years in prison for multiple women. Oprah, however, has claimed that her experience with John was profound, describing a deep connection during their interactions. She invited him to appear on her show, and even traveled to Brazil to meet him before his arrest.
This is an interview I wasn't sure would ever happen. One of the most famous spiritual healers in the world rarely talks to anyone on camera.
There's a growing buzz that Michael Jackson might have known way more about Oprah Winfrey's alleged ties to Hollywood's darker side than anyone ever thought. For years, MJ's mysterious vibe and those cryptic comments he dropped made people wonder if he was clued into some deep behind-the-scenes stuff in the industry, like the power players pulling the strings in secret. Word is, Michael may have been gearing up to spill some serious tea about these secrets, possibly even exposing Oprah's shady connections and the compromises made by other big names before his sudden and tragic death. The timing of it all? Suspicious, to say the least. Was Michael silenced before he could blow the lid off Hollywood's darkest truths, including Oprah's alleged role in it all? We may never know, but the whispers haven't stopped. One thing's for sure though, if Michael had lived to tell his story, the entertainment world might have flipped on its head. Crazy, right? Makes you wonder what kind of bombshells we'll never get to hear. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.